Okay, it's a little bit after noon. It's like 12:30 something my time. So this is my second video about my cervical fusion. This is an anterior cervical discectomy and fusion. I did one video like the day after I got the surgery. So it's been 6 days. It hasn't been quite a week. So I want to just kind of give a little quick update. So I took off my dressing, and that was a little painful because my head shaved there. It looks like there's a little bit much, actually. I look at other people's videos, and it seems like mine's a little messier than other people. It could be, maybe it's because, they said not to have, no blood thinners, no NSAIDs, no fish oil for 2 weeks. And I thought it was 1 week. So I didn't stop taking that until about like 9 days beforehand. So maybe that accounts for some of that. Seems a little more gruesome than other people's, but it doesn't feel any bad. And it's actually a lot easier to swallow now because I don't have that tape all over me. So that was actually difficult. So where I am right now, as you can see, is I'm not wearing the neck collar. I do wear it at night to sleep, and I do wear it to drive. That's mostly on the advice of somebody on YouTube, because my doctor said just wear it or don't wear it. He seems to be one of these doesn't really matter kind of guys, but I'm taking it very, very gingerly. And I think the reason is because I think, and this hopefully speaks to a lot of people here, is that the last thing we want is another one of these, right? The doctors, when you see the videos, right? If you watched all the videos on YouTube about what doctors, this is their favorite surgery, it's the most successful surgery, and I get it. It's much better. I mean, I think the way I would put it is, I'm super happy I did it, but I'm super mad that I had to do it. Right? That's the attitude I have. I feel like I really let myself down because, as if you've watched the first video, and please, if you haven't, you can watch the first video below. I already had this done once, almost 30 years ago, and I should have known better. I should have watched for signs. I should have paid attention and not just played through things. I acted as if I had a fusion, a C5-C6 fusion. I acted as if I didn't. And my advice to anybody who is either doing this for the first time, or if this is you got a multi-level fusion, or this is your second fusion, is, from now until the ends of the earth, never act as if you haven't had something done to you. Because what happened is me, again, this is a big part of this is my journey back to tennis, was that I was, I allowed myself to get asymmetrical in so many muscle groups and so many movements. And I had just ignored it. I mean, I had vast differences in my shoulder mobilities between my left and my right, going at all sorts of different angles and things like that. Differences, not so much differences in strength, but differences in range of motion. And rather than address that, and rather than take that on and get really serious about that, and not playing until I was completely or better balanced, I just played. I didn't warm up enough. I mean, I did my lower body, actually. I did a pretty good job of that, which is why my lower back doesn't have that many problems, even though I've had that too. So, I'm one of you out here. I'm a multiple offender because I had a laminectomy, geez, way long time ago. This is almost 30 years, and that's almost 35 years. So it's interesting. I've been very cognizant of my lower back. I was very, very aware, very careful. I always did exercises that I could keep mobility there. I kept the limber in my lower extremities. I would do bodyweight squats, which I really hope to get back to. And I would do those every day, and really all the way down to where I can, they call it the primal squat. I could sit there for 5-10 minutes, and even right before surgery, I was doing that. The problem was it would bother my neck, but it never bothered my lower back. In fact, I think it really cured my lower back, that getting in that deep squat position with no weights, just doing bodyweight squats. I was doing like 100 of them a day. But for whatever reason, I was ignoring this. Mentally, I had forgotten about it until you couldn't forget about it, until it started getting stiff, until I couldn't turn my head all the way to one side. It was always the left side. I couldn't turn my head very well too. And then when I started getting stingers, when I was going for the serve, and all I would do is it went away. So, no big deal. Well, it is a big deal. And so my advice to anybody who's watching out there, if you're doing this again, or this is your first one, make sure you don't pretend like you never had this done to you, because your body doesn't forget that, and your body will remember that. And I think everybody on this site will agree that the last thing you want is to do this again. I mean, it's not that bad, right? I mean, the swallowing is, everybody's had problems with swallowing, and so do I. I just have to take it very slowly. Um, but the feeling of it, and the sort of the stiffness that you walk around with is way better, obviously, than having the herniation and and I haven't even got the doctor's report yet, but he said that there was facet joint arthritis. I imagine they had to scoop out a lot of bone and things like that, but I'll find out in 2 weeks. But for all of us here, anybody watching, and for anybody who's about to go through this or who has gone through it and has to go through it again, whatever you're about to do not ignore this. I mean, don't pretend like don't walk around like you're on eggshells, right? I mean, you should. The whole point of getting the surgery is to live your life, but focus and always be balanced physically. Always make sure that your left and your right, because especially for those people who play tennis, it's a very asymmetrical sport. I have a one-handed backhand, so it's all with my right arm, and things were out of whack, and the serving and everything. And so it wasn't a problem until it became absolute. It went from no problem at all to the worst problem in my life in a span of like 3 weeks. Literally, I had no problems with my neck. It was the last thing on my mind. I was actually worried about my hip. If I don't get the surgery, I can't imagine going on living. So that's my advice for this thing. So far, so good. Again, pay attention to these instabilities and these things. I was doing these snow angel exercises on the ground to try to before surgery, and the first time I did it was a crack, like a box of Cracker Jacks. But make sure you pay attention to those things and really focus on that. So in terms of symptoms and everything like that, everything is much better. I mean, I don't know what that looks like on camera, but I'm not even pressing it. I'm so gun shy. I mean, I took the collar off, but I am really, really taking it easy. I don't want to do anything. In terms of activities, they always say to do the walking. I've been doing the walking. Another one that I just started doing is stairs. Not Stairmaster, not at the gym, but just stairs. We have a 2-story house. So I walked up and down the stairs for 20 minutes, and that felt great, actually. So anything to kind of get the heart rate going a little bit and get a little bit of activity, that's kind of what I'm doing. So far, in terms of drugs, one thing I learned from his name is Bortz, maybe you've seen him, is don't go raw dog on this and not take the drugs just because you feel like you can. My first fusion, that's what I did. Actually, I said, no drugs at all, and I did. But I was young, and they gave me this big, massive brace. I couldn't move if I wanted to. But now that you don't have a brace, now that you just have a collar or whatever, stay ahead of the pain. Tylenol isn't going to kill you. So I've been taking one Tylenol in the morning, one Tylenol at night. And as some of you said, the muscle relaxers really help. I've got down to where I just do it before bed, but that's a super important thing, because I had a terrible night a couple nights ago, and I didn't take it. I didn't take the Tylenol. I didn't take the muscle relaxers. And all of a sudden, my neck stiffened up. I'm watching television, and all of a sudden, I can't look this way. I can't look that way. It's tight. It's stiff. And you think, oh, geez, here we go again. And we all know the feeling, right? Here we go again. And so, luckily, before I went to bed, I said, I'm taking these damn muscle relaxers now. And it still was stiff most of the night, but eventually I did get to sleep. And I woke up, and it was better. And then as the day went on, it just totally went away. Now I don't have any of that feeling anymore. So I am not going to be stupid twice, after being stupid so many times. I'm going to keep with these, the Tylenols twice a day, until, I think maybe a week or two. So maybe until I see the doctor again. And I'll run out the muscle relaxers if I need to. They do make you droopy. They definitely make you tired. But if it's between that and the tension and the stress, because I think part of what happens is once you know, that stress itself will cause problems, right? The stress of it's going wrong itself, I think, will not ruin it, but it'll hurt you. I noticed this the first time I had this problem. I noticed this time. Stress made it worse. I had a doctor once a long time ago who said it's not for nothing that we have these two phrases: pain in the neck and pain in my ass. That is, someone's a pain in your ass and someone's a pain in your neck. And that's where you have your problems. And stress really builds there. And I think for a lot of people, for me too, stress builds up in my neck and my upper body. So, if you're avoiding the pain medication and then getting the pain, then what you're going to do is you're not only going to get the stress of the pain, but you're going to get the mental stress of thinking that it didn't work. And you're going to start to think, oh, Christ, it didn't work. Failed fusion. Don't Google that, right? Whatever you do. And there's another bit of advice, if I can give anybody who hasn't had this yet, who's thinking about it. Do not read any of the failure stuff. Do not read any of that stuff. I'm not watching any of that. I just look at it. It's overwhelmingly positive anyway. That's reality. But you hear all these videos of fusion gone wrong, and I won't click on those. I will not. You don't need to see that. You need to, if you're going to go through this, and I'm not going to recommend against it. I mean, it's like I said, I needed to have it done, but I'm mad that it had to have it done. But don't go through any of the failure literature. Just think positive. Stay positive, and with that, take the pain medications. I don't think I have 30 tablets of muscle relaxants. I don't think that's going to make me a junkie. I was on Lyrica, I was on gabapentin, and I got off of those fast enough. So, I don't think that's going to, turn you into a lifelong pill popper, but it could relieve a lot of stress, and it could make you heal faster. I think pain makes you heal slower. So that's my advice for that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to, sign off. And like I said, this is where I'm at day 6. Day 7 is tomorrow. Hopefully these things will start to come off, but it looks pretty ghoulish right now. It's kind of a Frankenstein effect on it. Now hopefully that'll kind of like soften up or whatever like that. And that's it. Hopefully get to where I can start to imagine when I play tennis, because right now I can't even do that. I'm just walking up and down steps and trying not to look down. Basically, that's my main goal in life: is not look down, not look up, and don't look left and right too much. I just do not want to ruin another disc. Okay. All right. So anyway, I will sign off, and I will make another video in a week. Okay.